Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. The word that God gave me to share today is about a very important subject, which is the types of temptations that the enemy throws at us. So stay until the end of the video because I'm sure to bless you greatly. But before the video starts, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any video I post. I'm sure you will be very blessed with every video here. Also, share this video with a friend to bless their life. The base test for this word today is at Matthew 4, which is when Jesus was led into the wilderness by the Spirit and he was tempted by the enemy. Today I'm going to talk about three types of temptations that the enemy throws into our life. There are many other types of temptations that he throws, but today I want to highlight these three that I find in Matthew chapter 4. The first one is identity. We see in verse 3, the enemy launched the first temptation by saying, if you are a child of God, the enemy will always tempt us in our identity because our identity in God is our basis for having clarified our calling and also God's love for us. When you have your identity clear, you know that you are loved by God and that God created you to be more than conquerors in His words. You discover exactly what your calling is on this earth, and that is the end for the enemy. Because when you discover and fulfill your calling, you are working the great advance of kingdom of God on earth and contribute to destroying the works of darkness. The second temptation is our trust in God and His word. In verse 6, we see another temptation where the enemy says, cast yourself out of here, for it is writing. The enemy will always want to put doubt in our hearts concerning the power of God's word and our trust in what God says to us. He will always try to induce us to think that God will not fulfill what He has promised us, that His word is not living and effective. For if He makes us believe this, we will have not more faith, patience to endure God's process in our lives, and no more courage to move towards God's will for us. The third temptation is to extend purpose for purpose. This temptation is very used by the enemy, because if you will fall into it will be a great gain for him. In verse 9, we see the enemy saying to Jesus, and he said to him, all this I'll give you if you fall down and worship me. The enemy offers us propositions that to human eyes seem attractive, good to accept. And in fact, this was the first kind of temptation he threw at Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. A proposition to change God's purpose in your life. The enemy can offer you a love relationship that is not God's will for you. A job that is completely different from the calling God has for your life. A proposal to get revenge on someone who has done you wrong when in fact God wants you to forgive you, and so on. We need to be alert every day because the war against the enemy is constant. And he never tires of throwing temptations to make us fall. And these three temptations that we talked about today are very used by him. And we must not give in into the temptations, but overcoming them using the word of God, which is powerful to destroy all evil. Write here in the comments which of these temptations the enemy has used the most with you, and how you overcame them.